Hey there, it's your favorite girl, Manji Nadia Baka, and welcome back to 100 Degrees of MNK. So, I know there's a high percentage of you all that missed me, another percentage of you guys that may have forgotten about me, and a little bit of in the middle. But your favorite girl has been MIA, sort of, kind of, over the past 3 or 4 months because I was in the trenches. I officially mastered it.
Manji Nadia.
I recently celebrated my master's degree graduation last week, and it has been one hell of a ride getting to graduation, the day of graduation, and now I'm in this space of what's next. Before I get into all of the fun details, I'm going to need you all to hit that subscription button below because we are less than 60 subscribers away from our 500 subscriber count goal. Now, mind you, I am going to take some accountability here and say that I have not been as active. But to be fair, when you guys ask me to bear a little bit more and share more about myself on here, it's like crickets. We need to change that, okay? We need to change that this 2025. And we still have 6 more months to go, so it's not too late to hit that subscription button below. Anywho, what has been going on in the past 3 or 4 months? You guys saw me when the new year popped off. You saw that I became a brand ambassador for a Black-owned clean beauty brand, the first Black-owned clean beauty brand to be held at Sephora. So I'm gonna give myself a round of applause because I worked hard for it. I have been dibbling and dabbling in becoming more visible while still completing my master's degree and finishing it strong, by the way, because I did finish with distinction. Shout out to everyone that graduated cum laude and up and beyond, and shout out to those who also just made it, who completed it. It's no small feat to decide to go back to school for a professional degree while still doing a 9 to 5. I think that's probably been the most difficult part of the process is not fully being able to have that graduate school experience outside of work, school, work, school. I put off a lot of travel in the early parts of this year just so that I can focus, so just so that I can finish strong. And a lot has changed in my personal life, which I'm not willing to share right now, but a good amount of it enough to set the tone of how I was going to continue my content creation in this current stage of my life. I had a lot of nights on this couch because I needed to hurry up from work to complete an assignment or wake up early enough to complete an assignment. And for the most part, this semester, while I had a group project, I felt like it was me and another person putting in more of the work. So that put a strain on me, and it also took a toll on me stress-wise because I also had to complete a research project, which I successfully completed with an A minus. And I'm very proud about that. If you want details on that research project, hit me up. I'll, share it with you because I don't have it published and I'm choosing not to publish it because of a conflict of interest with my current job. Yeah, life has been lifing with school and work. And I've had moments where I probably felt discouraged in the process. I felt like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? I don't want to have my GPA decrease, which it actually did. My GPA decreased a good 7 points, and I almost had a breakdown 2 days before graduation because I know how much work I put into my schoolwork this semester, especially with it being the heaviest. Not even the heaviest because I've had heavier semesters, but with it being the heaviest because the level of responsibility that I've taken on in this semester in my personal life, it has really put a strain on my mental health. So I did focus on my physical health. I did lose weight. Okay, I lost a good 10 pounds. I'm still at a steady 143 pounds since January, but it's only because I've been exercising. I have taken a slight break, but I'm slowly weaning myself back into the fold because I don't want to fall back behind. But there were times where I did feel a little discouraged towards the end because my GPA had dropped 6 points from what I intended it to be, but I still managed to graduate with high distinction, okay? So that's a round of applause for me again because I earned that degree and I put in work. And I'm still putting in work. Currently, I'm trying to keep my brain active with some certification programs, and I have been heavy on the job hunting. In fact, in the next hour or so, I'll be on a webinar for newly graduate students. So the grind hasn't stopped. So if you don't see me as much on here, please give me some grace because I am really trying my hardest right now with life and I'm trying to do it the honest way, okay? I could be on a pole somewhere or yeah, I've even considered doing like club waitressing, being a bottle girl. I've thought of those things. And a part of me is still like, maybe I should, try that because at least I'll be having extra income. I'm gonna have to start paying back these loans in September. So I have to think really fast and I have to be calculated and I have to be smart. And I also don't want to compromise my integrity while doing it. So for me, if you don't see me as often on here, just know that I am really trying to hold on to life and I'm really trying to expand and grow. But it's going to take some time. This is part of life. And this is why I'm even sharing this part of me is because everybody on social media cannot be rich, cannot be living the soft life. And even though I've been guilty of kind of portraying like I'm living this life, I have a good life. Okay, I'm fortunate enough to still have a roof over my head, still have food in my fridge, and still be able to have good family that loves me and friendships that push me to be a better person every day. With that being said, life is still going to life. I think I've only been on a date once this year. I've probably dibbled and dabbled back into online dating, removed myself, put myself back out there. But I realize now I just need to be tunnel vision focused on me and what I got going on. And this probably sounds redundant from my last video, but clearly this is where I need to be in this part of my life because I'm in that stage where, yes, something great just happened, but now there's an expectation, not just from me, but also everyone around me. I know a lot of my family members are proud of me. I've gotten a lot of really heartfelt conversations from friends and family members close to me telling me how proud that they were and how I should continue to, follow my dreams. And it has been very difficult to actually believe that I am following my dreams sometimes because it's not coming as quickly as I feel like it should. And I should be happy, I should be content, and I should stay positive. And that's where I'm at right now in this life. So I am really working hard to do things the quote unquote right way. And I'm just really grateful that I'm even able to sit here and talk about it because some people have it really bad and they're really out here in the trenches and they don't have a support system, they don't have support group. So yeah, that's what's been happening before graduation. Now let's get to some more fun stuff. Let me tell you about the days leading up to graduation. If you know me by now, you know that I am a planner to the T. Like I plan everything. I more than likely would be planning my wedding if I were to be getting married in the next 2 years or so. I would definitely plan how I want my funeral, God forbid. We're gonna knock on all types of wood. But that's just how much of a planner that I am. And I planned to have a photo shoot for myself this year because I know how hard I worked. And typically, when I've had a rough year or when I've had a year of ebbs and flows, I like to gift myself with an experience, whether that's a trip, whether it's a photo shoot, whether it's just a nice day with myself experiencing great things. That's what I like to do for myself. This year, I said I'm going to do a graduation photo shoot. I didn't do it for undergrad. I did the old school, you pay your school maybe $200 for a photographer and hope to God that the photo shoot comes out really well. Mine for undergrad, I hated the photo. I was still experimenting with wigs and makeup, and it just looked horrible. So I said this year for graduate school, I'm going to do it the right way. So I generated some AI images based off of the outfits that I'd already chosen out, the scenes and all that sort. And I sent it to my photographer friends and I purchased a dress. So we're going to talk about this pink dress. The story of the pink dress is one that I will keep on telling over and over because I think this was really like a full circle moment for me and my journey this year. I ordered this beautiful fuchsia, hot pink, one shoulder pleated pink dress. Let me show you the picture of the pink dress. That is a picture of the pink dress. Look how beautiful this dress looks. So I ordered it on May 1st, okay? Within 2 days, I received a notification from my phone, from the shop app, that my order had been shipped. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, you know what? The dress was already expensive. So I'm like, I shouldn't have to worry about tariffs and shipping because my Shein dresses, I had ordered two Shein dresses 3 weeks ahead of the time that I purchased this pink dress. And actually, one of the Shein dresses were supposed to be in one of the photo shoot concepts that I had. So I said, okay, cool, but this is the main dress. All right, this was the main dress. This was the main event. When I saw that it was moving, I was excited, and I saw that the estimated arrival time was for May 15th. I said, okay, cool. This is good. It's give me a good 5 days to actually try it on, see what hairstyle I was going to work with. Let me show you. I even went as far as creating graduation test shots because I wasn't sure which hairstyle would go well with the dress that I had in mind. Let me show you. So these are the test shots that I took in my apartment and I sent it to my friends. I sent it to my one of my closest friends, like a sister to me, Aminata, and she lit me up for this because she's like, girl, like you really planned out your hair and your photo shoot and your makeup. I said, yes, of course. Like I'm one of those people. If you do not plan, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So of course I'm going to go ahead and plan my photo shoot. I'm a planner. So I sent her the photos and the images, and here I am. I'm like, okay, the dress is coming, the dress is coming. I'm setting up photo shoot. And mind you, at this time, I wasn't balling, to be doing a photo shoot, but I said I was gonna get it done. And I wanted to do this for me because I worked hard for it. So, and I deserved it. So it was gonna happen. The days get closer and closer and closer and closer to the graduation day. I start to get worried because the next shipping update that I got, I tracked it and it told me that my dress had just moved from England to Germany. And I'm like, didn't this company say the dress shipped 2 days from when I ordered it. Why is it still in Europe? I don't understand. The math is not mathing, okay? I paid for economy shipping, which shouldn't even be a thing because prior to this whole tariff trade war thing, it was free shipping for orders $100 and up. And even for some companies, $75 or $60. You know, times have changed, but honestly speaking, I feel like with the amount that I paid for the dress, all that should have been included in the process and the handling. And also, if you know for a fact that this is going to be an issue with your customers, why not put disclaimers out there? And of course, as a consumer, I can't be aloof and act like I did not hear and I did not see and I did not know that these tariffs were affecting businesses. I wholeheartedly assumed that it would affect smaller business more than bigger business. And that's only because the only big business online retailer that I work with is Shein. And my packages came in on time. So it was really hard for me to understand why this much more expensive company couldn't get it together. Okay. The dress is in Germany. This is when I start to panic. I start to reach out to their customer service line, trying to understand why my dress hasn't arrived and where is it? Like, where is my dress? They get back to me and they're like, well, your dress is scheduled to arrive the 22nd. That's 2 days after my graduation. What good is this dress to me after that? After waiting, what, 17 days? We're probably on the 17th day now, and my graduation is in 3 days, and the dress is still in Europe. So what do you mean? Every single day I am reaching out, and it felt like I was talking to bots at this point because they would have the same greeting message. We're sorry about your frustration, but this is due to the tariffs. And then the signature would be a different name, but the message would be the same. The only thing I would say is they gave me back the shipping, the economy shipping, which shouldn't have even been a thing. And then get this, the same company increased the price on the dress that I had purchased. I think I may have jolted this process. Maybe I'm thinking a little too much about myself here, but why didn't you guys just work in the logistics shipping into your pricing and just to ensure that your customers get the products in time? You understand? We're all losing here, okay? The customer's losing out on time. You're losing out on coin. But why couldn't we just like work something out from the beginning so that I'm not waiting 20 days to get my product? So back to tracking the dress. So I'm tracking the dress. The dress leaves Germany to then go to France. The last update had to have been on the 18th, 2 days before graduation. And I'm seeing that. I'm looking, I'm tracking it. Saturday comes, I'm seeing that the dress is still in France. I said, okay, let's give it till Sunday. I'll probably get a new tracking update. So I check on Sunday and I see that the dress had reached the destination being New York City. I was like, okay, thank God it reached New York, because I was afraid that it was going to reach another state and then I have to wait X amount of days for the dress to get here. So it reaches New York City and the message is saying on its way to customs. I said, okay, cool. How long would it take for a package to get through customs? You know, a small package at that. I'm not bringing in freight. I'm not bringing in any dangerous goods. We should be fine for a Monday delivery. Monday comes. I'm still seeing that it is in customs. So I called the USPS, the United States Postal Service, and they tell me that, yes, it's true. The last place that it was shown that it was scanned was at the United States Customs. I'm like, okay, so what do I do now? They're like, well, you should just wait it out because this carrier is not an American carrier. So, well, what do you mean? I went in and I looked at the tracking number and I saw that I had two different carriers before getting the United States Postal Service. to grab my package. I had Hacienda first and then La Poste, which is the French company. So she's saying to me that my package might be further along. I said, okay, cool, no problem. So Monday afternoon, I'm at work. I get a message saying that my dress had arrived at the distribution center. I said, okay, cool. Let me check where the distribution center is. I see that it's in Flushing, Queens. I said, oh my gosh, it's amazing. I might get my dress tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm still holding out hope. At this point, I wasn't even sure if I wanted to do the photo shoot, but I kept a photographer on standby just in case. So I call the U.S. Postal Service. By the way, for a time where customer service has not really been a thing because they've replaced human beings with bots, shout out to the U.S. Postal Service for still keeping human beings on the line, even though I had to wait a long amount of time to actually get in touch with a human being. But the fact that I still was able to speak to a human being, chef's kiss, even though that should be the standard chef's kiss for this situation. So the gentleman on the phone told me that, hey, it's at the distribution center. You can hold this for pickup and pick it up at the post office tomorrow. So that way you don't have to worry about waiting for it to get to you because you have graduation in the morning. You have to leave your house early to make it to your graduation. Now, mind you, my graduation was held at the Billy Tennis Field, right next to City Field and right next to the airport, ironically, where I work. And the photo shoot site was also within a good 11-minute, 10-minute drive. So proximity was all in my favor this time around. I didn't have to drive or take the train 2 hours to get to where I'm going on either front. So I was still very optimistic up until the point where I woke up at 4 a.m. to a message saying that my package was in dispatch and out for delivery. And I said, huh? Didn't the guy say that my package would be held for delivery? So now I'm freaking out and I can't call the postal service office until 8 o'clock during normal hours. So I wait till 8 o'clock comes and I call. And the person online tells me, hey, your package has been shipped out to delivery. And I'm like, how is it that it's been shipped out to delivery when there was a note on file to hold my package for delivery so that I can go pick it up at the post office and get on with my day? So the person did some research and they did find that the note was there, but whomever was in charge of adhering to the note didn't read. Unfortunately, we're in a society that just doesn't read anymore. So my package ended up being dispatched out for delivery. Now I'm panicking because I've already done my makeup, I've already done my hair, and I had a backup dress, but it was not the dress that I wanted to wear. Like I said, I wanted to wear this dress. This dress was a gift for me. That's what the pink dress signified. It may not have been a big deal to the next person. My friend told me that she said she did everything last minute for her graduation because it was just graduation. Did my makeup, hair, and dress and everything, and just put on whatever. And for me, it was much bigger than that for me because this degree to me is going to be a life changer for me, one way or another. And so I got frustrated. At this point, I was angry. I was upset. I was heated. I could not be told a single thing because my dress was not here in my arms. So I conceded and I put on my backup dress and I went with a photographer to the park to take photos. I wasn't happy, but I did ease into it. And then somewhere down the line, I think the photographer can feel like the chemistry was just not there. When you're doing any type of creative work, the chemistry between you and the rest of the team has to be on point. Whether it's you and a client and a photo shoot or you're on a set, the chemistry has to be there. And I guess he just realized that, I was just too upset. And he was like, do you want to just do this after your graduation? And I was so adamant, no, my makeup is not going to be good, acting like my house isn't right around the corner and I can't just come here and touch it up. It's just one of those situations where I turned into a brat because I wanted what I wanted and I didn't care. And I was just upset that I couldn't have what I wanted and what I worked hard for at the moment. So, there's some room there for me to grow. Don't judge me, okay? Because I can feel you judging me. I could feel you judging me through that screen, through that camera right now. But anywho, just as we're about to head to the graduation, I get a message at 10:39 a.m. stating that my dress had been delivered. So I told the cameraman we are turning this car back around to my house. And that's what we did. I did get a little pushback, like, hey, you're not concerned that you're going to miss your graduation. I said, I'm not going to miss my graduation. At best, graduations never even start on time. Name me one graduation that has actually started on time. Never in the history of any of my 4 or 5 graduations that I had prior. So I get home and I didn't even care at this point. Initially, when I was planning for this photo shoot, I had thought up of a whole get ready with me scenario, unboxing my graduation dress, unboxing my cap and gown, all that just like went through the window when my dress didn't arrive on time. So I didn't even have the creative spirit to do it. I just ripped that package open and I slid that dress on. I even in the process did pop off a piece of the dress. I wasn't happy about it, but I took it back to the tailor later on and the dress is still as good as new. And the quality was like the dress was worth the wait, okay? If there was anything that could signify, being worth the wait, that dress was worth the wait, okay? And just to keep the element of surprise for myself because I knew I was going to do the photo shoot afterwards, I kept my gown zipped until I got home, patted up my face, refreshed my makeup, refreshed my hair, and got back in the cab to meet the photographer at the photo shoot site to get my photos. And the photos came out amazing. Let me show you. This is what the photos look like. The photos just look so good. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Made in His Image Photography for doing a big one with my photos. And I was just happy. Once I got my photos, we even recorded videos. I didn't even care. I was just happy that I got my photos. And everybody's like, oh, you sure you're going to wear this dress over and over? I said, girl, I'm going to wear this dress. I'm going to wear it to the last dime, till the shipping and handling and everything has been recouped from this dress. That's how important the dress was for me. I'm telling the story of the pink dress because I remember when I chose to go back to pursue a graduate degree and all of the negative thoughts that were going through my brain about how the concentration is not even necessary to get a degree. I got a master's in social media and mobile marketing. If I tell that to the average person, they're gonna laugh for a little bit and be like, why did you need to go back to school to get a degree in something that you're already interacting and dealing with? And I said, well, this is the now and this is the future. And I want to be on that team of stakeholders who get to decide how we interact with these platforms and how people are marketed to and what stories are told around that. And the digital era is here. We can't pretend that it doesn't exist. And I don't want to be shut out. I want to be a part of the conversation surrounding that. And with everything happening in this world, if I could be a part of the positive change and the positive things, why not? So that's what even got me to decide to go back to school for. I could have just did certifications upon certifications as I'm doing right now. But the experience that you get, the experience that I got at least every single time in the classroom is unmatched beyond what I've actually gotten in the real world. Because whatever I got in the real world was amplified and came in a surplus because of what I learned in the classroom. What I learned in the classroom is not limited to just the content and the educational material, but the people, the conversations, the networking, all those things are so invaluable and nobody can ever take that from me. And this is my advice to anybody pursuing higher education, or even if you just want to get a certificate or any type of certification, go back for you. Go back with the idea that the purpose that this is going to serve for you is not going to be instantaneous, but you're going to definitely recoup the benefits in the long run. And that's what I'm here for, longevity. I'm not here for a short time. I'm here for a long time. And I went back. I always describe my journey as one of the Sankofa bird. And I actually learned about the Sankofa bird when I was in high school. I was in this church program called Kajinga. So it's basically like this church conference for Black Catholics from these churches came together and would have an annual retreat in the summertime. One year was about the year of the Sankofa bird. I think it had to be my first year. And the idea that we always have to look back to move forward. I've been looking back to move forward as many times as I can remember, from my late teens to my early 20s to now. And the fact that I went back to school as a means to try to get ahead again is more telling that the story of the Sankofa bird is truly my story. And me going back to get that pink dress is significant, that I can't come this far to only get this far. I have not come this far to only come this far. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. Even though things are not the way that I would like them to be in present times for me, I want to encourage my subscribers to do the same in their day-to-day lives, whether it's in a big way or in a small way. I have been thinking heavily earlier on this year to be active in my community and to serve my community. And currently I'm doing it in small ways, but I would like to do it more in a much bigger way. But I also understand that there's going to be some time that's going to be needed to sacrifice in that process, and money. And right now I'm doing a lot of sacrificing financially, and I'm kind of like trying to get myself out there again. And obviously I have to get that job so I could fund all this stuff. I wanted to get on here today to just share with you my journey, to share with you the real and raw truth of what it's been like living behind the scenes, off the grid a little bit, and popping in. So if you see me popping in and out of social media with a post every now and then, just know, real stuff is happening in the real world. And it doesn't mean that I've deserted you guys, doesn't mean that I have neglected my goals online, but right now, offline needs me a little bit more. And I'm happy to pop in every now and then, provided that there's an audience waiting to hear what I have to share. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in for today's video. We are at 442 subscribers strong here at our Infernos Nation. It takes a lot of heat, it takes a lot of love to build a fire, to start something going. And it took that. It took a lot of that in here to get myself going and creating. Don't hesitate to join the Infernos. We are still growing. We are 442 subscribers strong. And I hope to see you guys on my next video. Maybe you guys can encourage me to post some more behind the scenes content of me actually trying to figure this thing called life out. But for now, I'm going to let you go. Bye and see you next time. Thanks for watching.